That was a 3 in front of the temperature.
Hey, Jay, what did you think of the job Dylan Dingler did today, given how little time?
Yeah, he had very little time, but he is so prepared all the time. I mean, it's awesome to see, and then to have a really good game on both sides of the ball. Thanks for bringing the catcher up first. That was nice work. It's encouraging to know that our guys are all in to do whatever, and he came prepared and had a great day. First time catching Tarik in an actual game, not a spring training game, but they looked like they were in sync perfectly.
Was there any reaction at all from Tarik when you told him that Ding was?
No, I mean, we were in the clubhouse when Jake came up from the cage and immediately talked to our trainers, and they came to my office. And by the time I got to the coach's office, Tarik was already talking to Fett. So everybody knew, and we kind of within that time of preparation that everybody was kind of doing their own thing. So that was about the extent of the conversation, and our entire staff has trust in Ding to do his part, and we just got to go through a few first when he hadn't caught these guys much.
Was Jake able to get tested? Is that what determined the IL stint?
Yeah, so it was pretty classic, issue with his side, and he was in a little bit of pain. So at the time, we were just trying to scramble to get Tomas here. We had a little consultation with our training department, and it was an immediate IL, just based on their initial read. Dr. Brayman was here, which was key. And then we had a lot of things that we had to get lined up before the game. So I haven't seen Jake since. I know he was going to go and get all the tests to confirm, unfortunately, what we already know, which is an IL stint. Well, Toledo, 50 miles it never comes more perfectly than a day like today. So I think he got to around 132. He came down, I want to say it was around the 4th inning. The game was going fast. But they let me know when he parked, and then they let me know he was getting dressed and getting ready. Then he went into the cage, I think. I think it was whatever inning we started hitting homers is when he showed up, so we'll credit him for some of that. So that was, we had to get a hold of him, and he had to go to the field, get his stuff, and get here. So thankfully AAA was at home, and Toledo isn't too far away.
Skubal, the way he pounded today, I mean, I guess with these elements, that's what you're looking for. And get hit.
Yeah, I asked him if it was the coldest game he ever pitched. He said no. So he has a little more experience than I thought at this temperature. But you could tell that the sun being out helped, but he still had a hard time keeping his hand warm. But he was able to execute pitches. He got into the game with a couple of base hits, and then he's under pressure. He gets the big out in the first, and then, like most guys that are legit top-end rotation guys, if you don't get him early and he settles in, he was able to really catch a rhythm and start executing and throw any pitch that he wanted, and got him out of there after 6, given the time of year, the temperature, and everything that he had done in a perfect pocket for Herter.
4 home runs is impressive regardless, and against the Yankees, but is it even more impressive in these elements?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, just given, you never know how the ball's going to fly. It's a little windy, so I think some of not that ours weren't windblown, but it was nice that our guys got the ball in the air to the pull side. Torque's ball carries out. Obviously, Carp gets the ball up, and I mean, he's strong. Z-Mac, same thing. Dylan's ball looked like it was gone from the get-go. So we got good pitches to hit, or we stayed with a couple tough pitches. I mean, we did them in a little different way. And I did get a little laugh out of the crowd booing Sweeney when he flew out to right center. So he tried. That's what I got for the people.
Just going back to Dingler for a second. That's the first time in more than a year somebody else has caught for Scoob. From the catcher's perspective, can you just speak to what it takes to make that work as well as it did today? Yeah,
in a game. I mean, in a regular season, it's the first time. Tarik threw to Ding during the spring, and then some of the bullpen stuff. And we try to stay as locked in with all the starters, and this is what you prepare for. But it takes Tarik's confidence in Dylan to really sync it up quickly when the game's going. So by him not overreacting, Dylan's going to feel at ease, and then we go into game mode. And Dylan had prepped for these guys. He knew he was catching tomorrow with Jack. So the hitters weren't going to surprise him. Tarik has full trust in him. But getting in a rhythm and big moments, first and second, nobody out in the first inning. Like those are the moments when familiarity helps you. But Tarik's no stranger to any of us.
It seems like you guys are prepared for all of these things, all the way to your catcher situation. How comfortable do you feel now with this catcher situation, with Nito and?
Sure. No, I mean, obviously we're going to miss Raj. I mean, Raj is a big part of what we do, and he catches a lot of wins. And so, Ding's going to get the lion's share of the reps. Tomas is going to play. But it wasn't too long ago I was getting asked how we're going to get Dingler in the lineup more, and unfortunately this is how it is. But given that we had 2 starting catchers, this is now going to be tested with a different part of our depth. When we signed Tomas, who has 5+ years of service, like he's been in the league, he's caught high-end pitching, he's played in the big market. He's going to be completely comfortable. We kept him all the way till the end of spring, took him to San Francisco. I think he's caught every one of our guys at one point. So you got to prepare for everything. So whether it's like Tarik told me, we prepared for the little shuttle pass. Brant Herter, better athlete than I've ever given him credit with the PFP. We practiced that. You never know what can happen in a major league season.
You've talked a lot about Torque being a different dude at the plate, but is he a different dude in the clubhouse too, confidence-wise, or the same guy?
Same. He's never wavered. In behind the scenes, his work, his demeanor, his being a good teammate, all that has remained the same. So I think the world around Torque has slowed down a little bit, and some of that's due to performance, some of it's due to age, some of it's due to just feeling a little bit more comfortable in his circumstances. But the production we're getting, we've actually seen before. This is not the first time that he's had a good stretch in the big leagues. Sometimes we got to remind ourselves of that. But I'm very proud of the even-keeled demeanor that he carries through the good times and bad times.
We've seen a lot of good at-bats from McKinstry. Obviously, the home run stands out today, but just like a lot of consistent hard contact.
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen from him at the plate so far?
Very positive. With he's staying kind of in his stance. He's staying in his game plan. He's a good player. I think that role is a little undefined, and so when he has a gap in time, and the production comes down, it doesn't make him a bad player. It makes it, I need to get him in the lineup a little bit more, and so I'm going to need to be, aware of how much we're leaning on him. But second base tomorrow, right field today. He's been third base. He got a couple innings at shortstop with all the switches that we do. Not many players in the league can handle that responsibility and still maintain the approach that's needed to be good.
What was different in Tarik's approach or execution today versus his 2 first starts?
I think glove side fastball helps. I mean, he's got such good stuff, and the glove side fastball is what plays, and everything plays off of that. So, looked like he had a better changeup today. He got a few swing and misses. He had a little bit more confidence in his slider. That's a pitch that it's albeit a third pitch, is really good. But he just found a rhythm, and he found some adrenaline to execute glove side, and given all the balance of left-right that they threw at him, he was able to mix his pitches against both sides.
How impressed are you that fans show up in these for this game when you're looking around? How impressed are you with those fans?
I mean, the day game is better than night game, and it's I love the people that come out and they're they're into it, and it's hard to ask the fans to endure the days like today, but everybody feels good after a win, so I'm sure they were happy they came out.
Maybe this is a silly question, but the catcher talk made my hockey brain turn on. There's an emergency backup goalie. Do you have an emergency backup catcher?
So everyone thinks they can do it. The catching position's not for everybody. I tell that for, you got to be a certain breed. Andy grabbed the glove and the mask and ran out there whenever Tomas wasn't here yet. Z-Mac's my answer for everything. Veerling's not healthy. He's told me he's caught before. But those are all in theory. None of them really want to come into practice. But I would pick one of those guys begrudgingly if we needed an emergency guy.